loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick!
When it comes to creating interesting and memorable characters, Yoshihiro Togashi has proven himself as one of the greats time and time again. Even decades after all of their respective introductions, the 8 main squad members of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter all stand as some of the most beloved characters in both anime and manga. But while there's a lot that can be said about Togashi's major characters, a countless amount of his minor characters are impressive in their own right. Characters like Chu, Jin, Kodo, Hanzo, and Nav all have their own fans, in spite of their small roles in the story. And when it comes to minor characters who stand out among fans, there's one that takes the cake. I've talked about widespread anime memes before, whether it's Shoutaka or Kono Diada, and the common thread between a lot of these widespread memes is that they relate to some surprise from early in their respective stories. Tonpa is no different. Tonpa appears in the first arc of Hunter x Hunter, and he's one of the participants in the Hunter exam, except his motivations for participating aren't what you'd expect. But when I say that, I don't mean that he wants to obtain a Hunter license so he can use it for some evil purpose. I mean that he doesn't want to obtain a license at all. Tonpa has taken 34 Hunter exams and has not succeeded a single time, and the series specifically points out that he could have passed the exam most of those times. The reason for this discrepancy is because Tonpa is what is referred to as a rookie crusher. He's not going to the exam so that he can succeed, he's going there so that he can watch in glee as other participants fail because of his own actions. So Tonpa gets in the way of our main 4 until he is defeated and never seen again, aside from a brief cameo in a later arc. He's a pretty minor character in the grand scheme of things, but while Tonpa's role in the story was minor, the impression he left on fans certainly wasn't.
I knew that he was an aesthetically unappealing, unredeemable minor antagonist who would never amount to any real story impact, and so I just wanted to move on from Tonpa. He simply could not provide us with anything but an obstacle to get to some actual substance in the series.
Tonpa is heavily disliked by a large portion of the Hunter x Hunter fanbase, and I can definitely see why someone wouldn't like him, although I personally really like him because of my unorthodox taste in characters. Tonpa is kind of a jerk, so it makes sense why the average viewer would dislike him, but while the hate for Tonpa is strong, there's another faction of the fanbase that's even stronger. You see, at some point in time, Hunter x Hunter fans started praising Tonpa ironically. Tonpa haters and Tonpa praisers are sort of like the chicken and the egg in the way that there will always be debate over which one came first. Well, except the egg obviously came first, but details. However, Tonpa fans go beyond simply liking him as a character. To them, Tonpa is not a character. Tonpa is an object of worship. These Tonpaists have witnessed Tonpa perform many supernatural feats. The most notable of these feats was a part of the story where at just 1% of his power, Tonpa effortlessly one-shot Chimera King Meruem. Fans of the series were shocked by this out-of-left-field plot twist, but they ultimately decided that it perfectly encapsulated the deep thematic elements of the Chimera Anarch. But this is just one of Tonpa's feats, and there are plenty of talented artists in the Tonpa faction who are willing to use their skills to depict said feats. One of these artists even created a manga page that showed Tonpa as a member of the Phantom Troupe. Many anime-onlys like myself were fooled into thinking this was real, but it was obviously fake. What actually happened was that when every member of the troupe entered Tonpa's 200 billion light-year-sized radius, they immediately died because they could not comprehend his massive amount of power. In addition, a small amount of the members of the Tonpa faction take their worship into a different direction and call themselves Tonpa fuckers. These Tonpa fuckers have seen the immense power flowing through Tonpa's body and feel a small fraction of that power in their own body. Well, one part of their body, that is. However, most Tonpaists believe that Tonpa fuckers are engaging in blasphemy. Well, the most common opinion is that no one in our world is worthy of being with a deity like Tonpa. Some Tonpaists instead believe that he can be with someone from his own world, namely Hisoka. After all, it makes sense that the most powerful character in the series would end up with a guy who gets off to power. But in spite of everything, Tonpa remains a symbol of hope for people worldwide. Some would say that he is just an overused joke, and that the Tonpa faction is just beating a dead horse at this point. But he's not just any overused joke. He's my overused joke. If Tonpa has 1 million fans, I am one of them. If Tonpa has 1 fan, I'm the one. If Tonpa has no fans, that means I'm dead.